Hello everyone, welcome to Balin Chess Kids. Today I'm show the gameplay by Angelo and T. The game starts with pawn to d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight f3, bishop to b4, pinning the knight, and f3, and black play d5, then a3 attacking the bishop, and bishop to e7. So this is the first move, and the position is quite equal. Then the game to continue, c takes d5, e takes d5, then e3, castling by the black, bishop to d3, and rook to e8. The knight g2, and c5 was played, castling, and knight to c6. And in this position, this is the first time move, and you can see both are controlling the center, and both have initiative to attack each other. So the game to continue. In the 11th move, the white play king to h1. Then a6 was played, and now bishop to b1. Then g6, and now bishop to a2. So this is one of the great move, because the bishop is trying to attack the pawn with the one knight protecting. So you have the idea like attacking with the knight, and also you have the idea to push the pawn up to attack. So attack. Then e4 was played by white to keep on attack, and if the black capture the pawn, d takes e5, then you can use the pawn to capture, and here you have a very strong blocking and attacking this rank 5 area, and also you can push the pawn forward to attack the knight, and the bishop can also capture the pawn and attacking diagonal at the pawn f7. So after e4, the black play b5, then the white continue to attack using the pawn to e5, attacking the knight, and now the knight to h5. Then the white continue to attack, and this is a very interesting idea to capture the knight, g4, and now the knight to g7. Then in this game, white continue to develop the knight and bring the knight to f4, with the idea of moving the knight to h3 and g5, and attacking the square at h7. Knight to f4, bishop e6, and now bishop to b1, bring up more material to attack the pawn. Then queen to d7, and now white bring another knight to the action. Knight c to e2. Then bishop to d7, the bishop to d8. In this game, you have a one idea for black. For example, you can play and if the e capture the pawn, then you can use the bishop to take the f6 pawn, and here you have a very strong attack for the black. So after queen to d7, the white play knight c to e2, to d8, and white continue to play bishop e3, and you can see that this blue color is the critical path for the bishop to play zigzag to the left and to the right and to the f6 square. Then bishop to b6, and you have bishop to f2, then queen to a7, and king to g2, and then the black play rook a d8, bring out the rook to the center of the square, and now the queen to d2. Then the black play knight to a5, and bishop to c2, and after this the black play bishop to c8. So you can see that in this game the king is at this square, this 16 square, while the black keep on the pieces on this area. So the black will be slightly not in the attacking idea, because most of the material are in this quarter, and it's very hard for the pieces to attack the king. And while the white is getting more of the pieces to and the white is keeping on the pressure to the black. So white continue to play bishop h4 and rook to d7, and now bishop to f6, and the idea of putting the bishop to this square is successfully created. Then knight to e6, and here now the white game become clearly better, and white continue to move the rook a to d1 to keep on the pressure, and now the black must prevent the knight to h3. We've allowed the queen to h6 and checkmate the king at queen g7 checkmate. So after this, the black play knight c6, then knight to h3 with the idea of bringing the queen to h6, and this is one of the threatened mate idea. In this game, the black play knight c takes d4 with the idea of 3 pieces and is winning the pawn, but this position will cause the black lose the game, because after queen to h6 and white can win in 16 move. And then the knight to g5 will win the game completely. Because if the knight to capture the knight, then the queen will go to g7 and checkmate. So after this, knight takes f3, and now the rook capture again, and the mate is unavoidable. Then bishop to d8. Then you have mate in 6. Knight to g5, bishop capture, and then queen takes h7 check, and king to f8. Then you have pawn capture, and here the black resign, because after this the knight can go to f4 and check the king. Then the king can just move away to h1 and there will be no check. Then queen to g1 check, and then rook capture again just to delay the checkmate. And then now rook takes e2, and you have the back rank checkmate. Queen takes h8 and checkmate. So after rook, here's another example of checkmate. After the rook takes f3, you can play bishop e3 to attack the queen, and also the queen cannot come to here because the knight is protecting the square. So if this position, you can play knight h to f4, blocking the attack. And now after bishop the knight, then you bring another knight, next take f4, and now the checkmate is also unavoidable. And the black can only delay the mate by playing queen to g1 check, and rook capture again the queen. Then if any move from the black, for example a5, then you just use the queen to make a brilliant sacrifice. Queen takes h7 check, and after king takes h7, then you bring the rook to the action and have the back rank checkmate. Rook h3, then king to g8, and rook h8 and checkmate. And with this, thank you.